Henry III, The Great King England Never Knew It Had by Darren Baker is what I am reviewing for you today. So that is the cover of at least a copy that I received. I'm pretty sure that's going to be the final cover. That is the final cover of it. So this book is good for anybody that has an interest in medievalism, royalty, monarchy, English history, the English monarchy. Like, there are the tidbits of like the political connectivity that marriages and alliances had, which continues on even to this day. But marrying like your 12-year-old kid in promise of we're going to be okay for the next few years has gone out of style. So there is that is in my mind too this book would be perfect for. There is a timeline of his life and a map of England, Wales, and Scotland during his reign, and there are other photographs, paintings, timelines and images at the back as well. So there's a few things at the front, a few things at the back that are bookending, if you will, all this information. It is divided into 3 parts, and within those 3 parts, time frames of Henry's life, his reign, before he became king, and shortly after his death, because of there are going to be after effects if once royalty has died. So you're going to have that in this book. Now, this book is, to me, more on the textbook informative side, because it does go into description. There is a lot of information to absorb in this book, so it isn't a quick read of, okay, here's his life from birth to age 12, 13. Here's the time of when he became king to, say, a few years in. Here's the war aspect. Here's what happened around his death and after the fact. It does go like that, but it is in depth, and you're looking at 10-20 pages of looking at maybe a 2 to 5 year time frame. So, and you are looking at a few hundred pages of information, of text. If you're reading it on a screen this big, you're looking at about 500 pages. But in print form, if it's printed like 5x7 kind of thing, you're still looking at possibly 300 pages, if not more, depending on how they set up the book in this physical formation. So, for me, it isn't a book that is an introduction to monarchy or just a quick glimpse of here's information about the kings and queens of England. It is, again, for me, it is a textbook kind of book that would be used in university classes. It doesn't mean, though, you don't have, if you aren't taking a history or medieval program, you don't pick up this book and read it. If you have an interest in the history of England or the monarchy, or just have an interest in him, this is a book that you can have, because it is a good secondary source book. And yeah, there isn't the greatest information for some of that time period, or like you have some information written down or in images, but it isn't a book that's here's a primary source, here's an explanation. It's just here are facts, here's the information about his life. So there is a few quotes that are put into the book of here's the information and here's a little few sentences, few words of what this person said in this event. So, as I mentioned, chapters are divided into year periods, like 1199 to 1219, 1233 to 1234, 1265 to 1267, 1 year time frames to a few decades time frame. Like the 1199 to 1219 would be about his family and him in his early life. That would be in that chunk of time. And so having the 1-2 year time frames in each chapter, there is that focus of examining that year. So it's a good secondary resource, as I said, if using it for research. It's a focus on facts. It's not a general overview. It's not like something you would pick up as an introduction book or one of those history books that you would find in the kids section of your library or bookstore. And yeah, like I said, at the end there are a few more images than at the front, and you do get a sense that a lot of the research done is put into the book. And for me, it's a good resource to have along in looking if you are doing, say, a project or have an interest in Henry III. And Darren Baker really, to me, really put in the time and effort to say, this is why Henry III is that great king England never knew it had. So, that Henry III by Darren Baker. Happy readings.